going to carry on. Um, of course, we just passed a stage of the year which I referred to as the gateway lie. Might sound a bit pessimistic, and I know a lot of people would class me as like a Scrooge character, because I really do not enjoy or appreciate or have much time for Christmas and the whole idea of buying and selling and giving gifts at inflated prices. This year's obviously been different. Obviously not with buying gifts and stuff. That's still carrying on. But in previous years, it would be crazy out in the shops, people pushing, shoving, certainly no goodwill. And that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. So I never say, I hope you all had a merry mas. I now understand why people say Xmas. Oh, what have I done? Nope, I want that one. Yeah, I've had some funny looks in the past for telling people that, like, we had Christmas carol singers knocking at the door once, and I said to them, they were from the local church, as far as I know, or one of the local churches, and they, they were collecting money, which is fair enough. And I said to the woman that knocked the door, I said, thanks very much. I know they invited us to a carol service, that was it. And I thanked them and said, no, but thanks very much, but I don't celebrate Christmas. And the way this person looked at me, almost like I'd said, no, actually, I'm an atheist, which couldn't be further from the truth. If anyone knows anything about the origins of Christmas, perhaps you may share my views. It's got some curious origins where it comes from. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with the festival of Yule. There's also mentions that Christmas, that Santa Claus is. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the biblical character Nimrod. It goes by various different names, actually. Apparently, if some claim that the date, the 25th of December, was picked because it is actually the birthday for Nimrod, which was, historically speaking, according to the account of Genesis, Nimrod would have been Noah, as in Noah who built the ark during the Great Flood. His son, Cush, right, let's see if I remember this, Ham, had a son, Cush, who was Nimrod's dad. So and he was linked to. Right, I'm doing all this without looking it up, so I might have some of the names slightly out. I don't think so though. I'm pretty sure Ham begat Cush, and Cush, was Nimrod's dad. We could have covered that up for historical accuracy. I'm not going to completely go on about Christmas, actually. Just explaining why I wouldn't start any show with hello everyone, hope you had a good you-know-what-mas, because not my thing. But fair enough, if it is yours, it is very difficult to avoid and get out of. People obviously want to, I hope that we've all got someone that wants to buy us a gift. But of course, you can give gifts any time of the year, and that is the big thing. Christmas sort of says, there's a lot of suggestion, television advertising, give to charity at Christmas, help out the homeless and whatnot, go and visit elderly relatives, make sure they're not alone on Christmas Day. What about the rest of the year? Is it not equally important that you go and visit these people then? It only seems to matter that you go and see family and whatnot on Christmas Day. Be a nice person for one day of the year, and the rest of the year you can be whatever you want. That would seem to be some people's way of thinking, it would seem. Hi to Mudlark digging up the Thames, who is in the chat. You usually join me for my live streams. You're often showing up, a long-time viewer of mine. RJ, I'm not sure how long you've been following the channel. Just say, any thoughts on the Great Conjunction on the 21st? We're changing into a new age, the digital age. Scary time to Agenda 2030 in full swing. The Great Conjunction, so I guess this is the 21st of January coming up. We're changing into a new age. Sounds very real, or that sounds very plausible, although I would say we've been in the digital age for some time. Perhaps it will get we will become incredibly more reliant on digital technology. And if you think about how reliant we are now, I certainly find it difficult spending more than 5 minutes looking at my phone. Well, in certain situations, obviously, leaving the house without your phone is not something I often do, but very liberating. If you forget your phone, leave it at home, go out for the day. It is strangely liberating not having to check that every 2 minutes. You feel almost like you've got something back. RJ, if you've got anything you want to share about the Great Conjunction on the 21st, I'd love to hear it. Please fill us in, if you will. Yeah. Right, there was one thing I wanted to try on this live stream. Now, anyone watching the screen will see that at the top right corner of your screen, I've got the chat box. I'm going to try and do something, namely make it transparent. So please bear with me for a second whilst I do that. Error, you are not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. I'm going to check my stream. Mudlark in the chat says, I was really scared before the 21st of December when these planets aligned. I thought the elites would unleash some major catastrophe. I did hear about that, but I couldn't see anything. I don't know what the sky was like in your part of the world. I'm just checking my stream's working because I've had an error warning on YouTube. Yep, seems to be working alright for me. Hopefully it's playing back alright with you. I'm trying to think what did happen on the 21st of December. Perhaps, yeah, we were fortunate not to get, well, I have to look back. I'm sure something happened on the 21st. Right. Don't know if anyone noticed, I've actually animated a new background for myself. If you've got any feedback on that. Right, I'm just about to make my chat box transparent, hopefully. Let me know how it looks. Refresh cache. Oh, right, I would need someone to put something in the chat. Oh. There we go, how's that? The reason that's quite good is because I can now go, yeah, I can now hopefully, well, I would have thought, I would like it to fade away actually, maybe leave the messages up there for a bit. Right, now if I, RJ, glad you like the background, thanks very much. It was, I've always used a map theme logo for the background of all my videos. It's the map of Bath. Yeah, I kind of designed my logo around it. If I go, yeah, yeah, and I took some of the lines from that map and yeah, brightened them up. Right, okay. Any have you caught any of my recent videos or no? Yeah, I've made a video on Ewan McGregor. No, Conor McGregor. Sorry, Con. Of course, the Con is on with Conor McGregor. Fake babies. I'm not sure how much in agreement any of you guys are with me, but a lot of what we see is a bit phony and fraudulent. But I came across what I would call a big a whopper, you could say, if my suspicions are right and they're faking any of the story that I see, it would give you every right to be kind of sick. I've just noticed actually my live chat is cutting off some of the comment at the bottom, so I'm going to fix that. Wait. Okay, minor tweaks. There we go. The first live stream I've done for a while. Right, just looking at the chats, Mudlark, you couldn't see anything, it was too foggy where I'm in the east of England. Absolutely the same with me with the stars aligning. It was totally overcast for the whole time that we should have been able to see anything. But a really bright moon tonight. Apparently the last full moon of the year is called a cold moon. Bit of info for you about the names of moons. Although, of course, yeah, that's if you obviously start and end your year on December 31st, which not everyone does, of course. Just have another look at the chat. What's your thoughts on the royals, Bobby? Do you think they're actually legit relationships or nothing more than actors? RJ, I've come to the conclusion it's actors, but I could be wrong. Now, of course, I certainly know people that say they've seen members of the royal family out in public. I know people very close to me that say that very same thing. And yeah, and they've met, some people, one person has met them, one person works for one of their companies, tax-free companies. Not the Duchy, but I think they sell Duchy products, and I don't think they pay a huge amount of tax, if you know what I mean. But of course, like every other shop in the UK now, they've pretty much shut down. Crazy stuff. Yeah, so like I say, I know people that have met the royals. They've seen them give out awards, cut plaques, smash bottles on ships, get married, bring baby, display their newborn babies to the public. I've seen royals do all these sorts of things. But of course, I've also seen Ronald McDonald at my local McDonald's store, and he was giving out, I don't know what he was giving out, probably free junk food or something along those lines. And does that mean that there's a real, legit, genuine Ronald McDonald? Actually, yeah, bear in mind Ronald McDonald, something similar might come up in this story that I want to look at from, another baby on Instagram. And just like the royals, I believe they're actors. I think most of the celebrities on Instagram, so little of what they report about them is true that they might as well be actors. Right. Oh. Let's see. Mudlark. You saw Conor McGregor video but didn't comment. Looks like a fake plastic baby. Well, keep fake plastic babies in mind. I'm not sure. I personally don't watch the news, so I haven't seen it. But apparently, all over the news, or not all over, but in the news has been. They've been doing a story where they want to get donations for stem cell research. No, not research. Stem cell donors. Now, the whole thought of that kind of makes me feel ill. apparently there are two different types of stem cells. It always used to be that it was from unborn fetuses was the only place you could get a stem cell, because it is a cell which can grow into anything, apparently, according to what I've read. Very little knowledge on it, but apparently there are also stem cells in the adult body, so you can give yours away, apparently. How did I get onto that? Yeah, anyway, this latest story was is requesting people donate stem cells. I'm not sure if any of you come across it. It's a footballer, horrible story, especially if they're faking it. And Ronald McDonald pops up in that in a bit. Alright, going back to the chat. RJ says, fake baby, I'm not even sure he is human. Something very odd about him. You're not even sure who's human. Is that Conor McGregor or the baby? Or, yeah. Death and MK Ultra Acid. RJ, if you're referring to Conor McGregor, then he's absolutely one of them. Whether that means he is someone under mind control, or it means there's just loads. There's just someone that they write a script for. Perhaps there's 2 or 3 different, 10 or 20 different actors that can play the role of Conor McGregor, for example. Who knows? But this next person bears a striking resemblance to Conor, actually. But he's an English person. Mudlight says the royals are all fakes with arranged marriages, and their pregnancies are probably performed by surrogate mothers. Absolutely. Although, yep, that is what RJ questioned me on earlier. Do I think that there is actually a family of Charles and his wife and their kids and Harry and Meghan and Kate and William all living in a legit house? Although they've got so many different properties, it could be anywhere all the time. I know of a building, actually, well, it was a house, you could call it, in a tiny little village just outside of Bath, and it is apparently reserved for when, I think it's Prince Charles, because it's to do with a duchy or something. It's a home that he can come and live in anytime he fancies, which is quite cool. I don't know. That's I've never seen it, but yeah, but anyway. Right, so yeah, if there's any children, legit children living with them, then they're going to be from surrogates. Or they switch, who knows how they do it. They can fake a pregnancy easy enough. They do it every night on the soap operas. You see them, people appearing to live a life of pregnant, and they're on screen for half an hour a night, and you think how much little time the royals actually spend on TV. Literally, you could have a half an hour program made of a 2-minute clip of the royals, and they just keep recycling it. Ayers Jones, sorry, is that how? IEOC Jones. The royals are all TRANNIES. I'm trying to. It won't let me show the message, unfortunately, but never mind. Hello, Sandy123. Thanks for joining. Ayers James says stem cells in your urine. Who knows? No idea. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. I don't know how they do. Well, apparently people do it as if they're giving blood. They let them inject it. Who knows? Not something I would ever do. I got to say, I do not trust the medical profession particularly. No way would I let them hook me up to a machine that sucks my blood. No, not a chance. Never going to happen. If I've got any say in it. You know, perhaps they could change the law one day and say we can take your blood anytime we want. Okay, this is the story then. Let me know what you think on this. I will bring up this one. Where is it? See what you think. Ashley Kane. How familiar are any of you with this person? Right. Now, like I say, if this isn't a genuine story, and they're faking it with babies, it is literally vomit inducing. This is the person I said looked like Conor McGregor. Same production company would be my guess. Those teeth aren't real. Fake teeth, that's for sure. Yeah, now is the baby real? Obviously this is their press shot, okay? If this is a rubber silicone doll, look at his arms. If that was a silicone doll, then yeah, the producers would have to be ashamed of them. I no other way of saying it. Right, I'm hoping things are fitting on the screen alright and they're not being blocked by the live chat, are they? Too much? I'll have a look. Yeah, Ashley Kane, I'm not going to read it all through, but he is an ex on the beach star, reality TV star. I think he's also a football player. I don't know how of note he is. But yeah, like I say, Conor McGregor looking like crazy resemblance to Mr. McGregor. Ms. McGregor, I should say. I wonder if he's got scars under his pecs as well. Sandy, you say we're waking up the fake. We're waking up to the fake royals. It's two of us now. This probs with Megan and Queenie is hilarious. Hi Bobby. Yes, hi Sandy. Thanks for joining and chatting. Let me know what you think on the picture on the screen. Apparently, look how happy this guy is. His child is fighting leukemia. Okay, this is the story. That big smile on his face, and his child fighting leukemia. Don't buy it for a second. Could you be any more happy? Oh. Look. Imagine if you had a doll, okay, a dolly, and you handed it to some celebrity or something for the first time. How would they handle it? What would they do? Would they start making it dance around? Swinging its arms around? Like making it dance? Wow, look how realistic this thing is. That's what it looks like he's doing to me. I can even make it walk along my leg. Is that... Oh, look. Well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pretend to read his mind. Nice. But bear in mind, everything these people do, of course, is an advert as well. It's selling some story or another. Look, how much? I don't know. I thank God that I've never been in this situation where I've ever had to visit anyone with leukemia, but would you be as happy as that if it was, I can't accept it? The problem, yeah. Isa Jones, you say Kev is easier. Yeah, thank you for that. They're all actors, nothing is real. Canaanites rule this world, I think. Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying at the start of this live stream. I'm not sure if you caught it. Canaanite, the land of Canaan, was built by well, it was ordered to be built by Nimrod, which we mentioned. Also built the Tower of Babel. Yeah, built up great kingdoms and a warrior against God. Yeah, so thank you for chipping in with that, Kev. Yeah, the problem you've got, how serious this story is taken, is by the main, almost like if you even mention that they could ever possibly fake this. But of course, they've got a lot backing up their story. They've got picture after picture of them, of the kid. They've even got him.
Like a lion. Like a lion. Yeah.
We can play it. I'm going to mute it though, because I horrible audio. Yeah, this baby does kind of seem to change appearance every so often as well. So perhaps some of the babies So it would appear that these celebrities come into this hospital dealing with sick children and get their camera out and start waving it around, photographing everyone. There was an odd one, like I said about Ronald McDonald. Let me see if I can find it. As if you'd carry two babies, whatever. Right. Where was it? I saved it. I'm sure I did. This one. What a nice treat for a baby. This is, yeah, anyway, these guys bought their, dressed up like the freakiest looking clown you can imagine. And a lot of people do have problems with clowns. I remember seeing Ronald McDonald and it sent a shiver through my spine. Seriously, seeing a person painted up so well. They're pretty spooky looking characters. So, yeah, would you do this to a child? Traumatize it. Anyway, yeah, these celebrities, they come in, but they've got a bucket, a charity bucket, because of course they're... This is the blurb from Ashley Kane. We tried to make Azalea's first Halloween a special one by dressing up, decorating the room and letting the other children trick or treat at our door. You're not praying to God that your child survives leukemia then. You're celebrating you're celebrating Halloween. Wow. Crazy stuff. Yeah, and they get the camera and start filming other kids in a minute. Apparently there's other children on this ward fighting. Yeah, literally dying children everywhere, and, well, sorry. Yeah, people are trying to recover from leukemia on that ward, and you're dressing up. We will play the audio for this, see what a racket they make.
Bye.
No problem. Your outfit's really nice, and yours is.
He's done amazing.
You want a lollipop? I just thought you want.
Oh, it wasn't a charity bucket, sorry. Yeah, sure, take pictures of my kids while they're ill in hospital. I got no problem with that. Strange. Right, add enough. Hide deepfakes, show you what they can do. Let me just shut this. Yep. You're absolutely right, add enough. Yeah. Right, this video, weird. Why would this person keep needing to repeatedly wave this baby's arm and hold the back of its head and dance it around? Look at what they're doing with it. He's got his hand around the back of its neck, but he's got to move his hand. See? And then all they've got to do is paste some eyes over the top of it. Piece of peace. If you know how, if you've got a decent software, decent video editing software, you could you could easily Photoshop. You could easily do what they do on this. Yeah, RJ, disgusting. Absolutely. Forcing his Halloween onto. Anyway, we're going to go on to another one in a minute. It did get. There was another picture. Yeah, another video actually of the child. And there must be about 100 cuts in it. Take one, take two. How many times they just cut the. It isn't this one. This is one, like I said, perhaps they did visit babies, but. Maybe someone did let these lunatics into a hospital. Like I say, if I genuinely thought there was a ill child and that this man's going through what he claims he is, I wouldn't touch it, but it isn't. It's a production. This is it, I think. How many times the film cuts? Watch it. This is just a natural conversation. There's a cut. Cut 2. Cut. Why would you keep needing to cut the film like that? Cut. Weird. Strange stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about this person in a minute. The last thing I will say is, don't they have a striking resemblance to Conor McGregor? Yeah. Oh, sorry. We've seen this one where he's got the hand around the back of the baby's neck. Weird. Sandy 123 Freemasonry taking over already built buildings from before the last reset. Yeah, interesting stuff. How far back do you believe, Sandy, the last reset was? Out of curiosity, I know some people believe apparently there's no history before 17. No, nothing survives from pre-1790s kind of time. I had heard no books or something to do with when the printing press came out. But, yeah. Taking over already built buildings from before the last reset. Right. Resets weren't on my agenda for a video tonight. There are people that do very good videos on resets. I'm not one of them. It's not something I've ever covered. I did see one by a guy called Level Earth Observer, and he made a video about Bath, and he said there's a place called Green Park where I think it's a drawing. It's a very it's an artistic. It's kind of like a print of a park. Well, it's now a park. It's now all muddy, and before it was a road. And he suggested there could have been a mud flood, which I believe has a link to resets. Is that? I'm not sure. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not sure if they could reset history every day if they wished. I would say there's very little that isn't, which they're not capable of. Right, yeah, that's the last one on these people. No, well, I did see when they were on. They showed himself with the TV in the background on the news, and it was like the news at 10 or ITV News propaganda machine, talking about the appeal that they were doing. I'm not sure if I could find it now. But yeah, it sounds like pretty big news. RJ, sorry Bobby, nothing to be sorry for. I believe 300 to 500 years ago. Any idea when you think this may have happened? Yeah, my question also. 400 years ago. 1620. 1620 would be 400 years ago. 1520. Do I know what happened in 1620? As well as I know my history, Australia was discovered, in inverted commas. It was 400 years in 86, so 16 around that time. 1680. No, hang on, that can't be right. 1780 Australia was discovered. 16, I'm not sure. That's as good as my history goes, so I've never looked into. I'm not good enough at history to really look into that, into resets. I mean, perhaps it would be something that would pique my interest. No, I like calling out fake sports stars about pretending they have an ill child. Why did I save this one? Oh yeah, that was the Halloween one. That was the, yeah, odd stuff. This was the, oh. Okay. pardon me. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, a subject. It's almost avoidable. Even it's unavoidable bringing up the subject of BS vid at the moment. Of course, that they claim that. Yeah. Yeah, we've all been affected by stuff, is a claim they make. But one thing very few people have been affected by is any actual illness. Like, obviously, illness is everywhere, but not illness. So, yeah, I'm not even going to go onto that subject unless anyone particularly wants to. I did hear a horrible quote from somebody who I know works in a hospital, and I was going to bring it up and ask your opinion on it, but I'm not going to lower the tone. Talking about history better, 1776, Captain Cook. Thanks, Kev. Yeah, Captain Cook. Right, it was Columbus that went to America, so Cook went to Australia, did he? Yeah, and then I believe it became, according to official history, how much you want to believe that is on you, but yeah, that's when they claim Australia was taken off the Aborigines, as it were. Right, have a look at the chat. Australia has old roads running all over it, old mines and housing estates. Check it out on Google Earth. Yeah, some very interesting stuff all over on. Yeah, if you scan Google, you can the Google Maps and stuff. Actually, even going back to what again, I started the video talking about the origin of Christmas, and then we got into Nimrod and the various names. Apparently, Osiris was another name for Nimrod. Just talking about, because we came up about yeah, interesting stuff to look at on maps. I did. Now, apparently, Osiris, I don't know if you're familiar with the story, I'm not 100%, so. Osiris. It's IS, isn't it? Yeah, apparently he was cut up into 13 pieces, and his wife. Osiris is the god of fertility, agriculture, and the afterlife, dead resurrection, blah blah blah. He was classically depicted as a green-skinned deity with a pharaoh's head, partially mummy legs. Unless I got the name wrong. Yeah, apparently the story about Nimrod in one of his other names was he was cut up. His wife tried to resurrect him by putting his pieces back together, but she couldn't find his penis, and that is why obelisks now. Well, she apparently made an obelisk and replace it, and that is why apparently that is what an obelisk stands for. Ra as well. Apparently there's a sun god called Ra, which is Ra. Oh, right. How can I do maps without revealing? Bear with me a second. I'll get back on that in a minute. Right, going back to the chat. Sandy123 is a good YouTuber who flipped from mud flood to a world catastrophe, melted buildings worldwide. Okay, well, if you've got any links to share to any YouTubers, I'd be interested. One who I have watched on mud floods would be the guy UAP, which stands for underrated not astrophysicist, actual physicist, I believe. Yeah. Right, yeah, I'm going to show you something. If any of you ever watched the first ever video I made, which is unlikely, it was the channel's gone now, but it was about a pattern of obelisks in Bath. Okay, I'm just talking about how the sort of intelligence that must go into building this kind of structure, which cuts through the entire country, how much either A, position of power you would have to make this decision. Yeah, bear with me, this could take a while. I could just show you the original video I made, but I haven't got it to hand yet. Yeah, apparently there is a line. I'll have to find a link to that video. I'm sure it's on 153 News somewhere. And it shows a straight line of 3 obelisks cutting through Bath, and one of which is in Queen Square. Some of you have probably heard me go on about this and probably might not think it's a particularly big deal, but I do. It piqued my interest when I noticed this. Queen Square in Bath. There it is. Osiris's penis. I could have his name wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Osiris. Right. Yeah, there's another one in Orange Grove. I'm sure you would take my word for it, or you could check for yourself, but yeah, I'll just show you these 3 obelisks. Here it is, just in here, Queen Square, and then the last one is in Victoria Park. And these cut through the, I would say, what was it, 28.2 degrees east, I would say they cut through the city. 28.2 degrees, of course, is the direction you have to point B Sky B satellite dishes. They have to point at 28.2 degrees. Yeah, anyway, these 3 line up. What we've done. I'm just checking my audio a minute. Oh, I haven't put the screen back up, my apologies. That was silly. You've been staring at a blank screen. Okay, you'll have to take my word on this, but yeah, there's 3 obelisks in Bath. While we're catching up, I will have a quick look at the chat. Australia Herald. Sandy123 says when the buildings cried. Mind blowing. Okay, thanks very much. One I would recommend is UAP. Underrated actual physicist. There's another guy called Mud Fossil University. He does some curious stuff as well. But yeah, UAP for mud floods, that's the best one I've heard. Yeah, there are 3 obelisks that cut through Bath. One is here in Orange Grove. One is here in Queen Square. And one is, oh, look at that for a pentagram, just there. This is in Bath, just on the line of the 3 obelisks. There's the 3rd one is Victoria Park, just here. This is probably the biggest of them all. Mudlark says we educated him about Osiris, I believe. Where did I see it? I never knew that about Osiris. To be honest, Mudlark, I might have his name wrong. There's loads of different names that Nimrod went by. I'm pretty sure Osiris was one of them. If not, please correct me. Someone. Adi Nath says same architecture all around the world. Amazing buildings built in the 1800s. Apparently, they write our history in real time. I think we all know we can't trust official stories. Apparently, some of the most incredible buildings, by the sounds of it, have probably been destroyed now. Again, in Bath, Twyton, there used to be an absolutely huge house. It belonged to, I want to say, the Carrs family, and it was destroyed by, well, they pulled it down and rebuilt the area, but it was apparently taken off the family during the war, and they were forced to give up a load of their land. Where is Twyton? Yeah, and apparently the building was absolutely huge, and this is one thing the UAP channel pointed out, how big the whole houses are, how big the doors are, how high the ceilings are, making no real structural sense. And yeah, talking about resets as well, there are a few of these buildings in Bath as well, and it's interesting how many floors go down underground. So you think, you think they've got a basement, but it turns out the basement of some of these houses was the original ground floor. And even then it's sunk under the ground level. Yeah, and that's one of these mud flood videos I saw. Is this Green Park? Yeah, that's Victoria Park. Yeah, I'll show you an example. Yeah, this is an area this guy said looked like it could have been caused by a mud flood. Yeah, I think. Where is it? Right by the park. Yeah. I'm not sure if you can see very much here. But yeah, just below these houses here, you've got another ground floor. You can just see it there. And I don't know if you can get any pictures in the park. But yeah, you can see that here there are doorways. Yeah, doorways and windows. Right, just one last thing I'm going to go and say about the map of Bath. Yeah, these three obelisks line up in a straight line. If you follow the line to Bristol, I'll have to find it now. It's pretty central. It's Queen Square in Bristol, I think. Is it Kingsley Square? Or maybe, hang on, is it Queen Square in Bristol? Yeah, I think it is. And again, here we are. Great big obelisk in the middle of Queen Square. And someone in the comments made a mention that the buildings are all the same. Something you notice around all of these statues of buildings, they all have the same pattern on the top. It looks like they've actually taken away the obelisk, or maybe it was never there in the first place, but it looks like they've replaced it with a statue. But you can imagine at some point that would have the same as Queen Square in Bath. What's the name of the place in Winchester? Right, so just having a look. Here's Jones. Yep, same architecture. Japan, Magnolia, Dublin, Melbourne. Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I've never been as far as Japan. I have been to Dublin. I've never been to Melbourne, but so far and wide and everything, and all the buildings all have the same things, same design. Doesn't actually show very well on here, but right, now if we go to Winchester. We'll see one last park. And again, it's very central. Oh, why does it keep doing that? There's all the name for Osiris. That's beside the point now, but sorry, other names for Nimrod. Osiris, yep, it's in there. Right, that's beside. Where's the park? Yeah, again, it's got a big lake around it. But as I do show in the video, which I would Peninsula Square, I'm pretty sure this is the area. Yeah, that one lines up in a great big straight line between, let's see, where's Winchester? Right. I'm gonna do this. Thanks everyone for sticking, keeping me entertained in the chat when I talk about this. Some of you have probably heard me going about it before. Right. Put this line, Bath, Bristol, Winchester. You can literally draw a straight line between these places. And oh, why is that not working? Yeah. Yeah, there's a straight line. And the name of some of the places along that line. I do a little study, like I said, in my first ever video. Alright, I'm going to have a look at the chat. It is getting late here and half midnight, so I will probably start winding up soon. Let's have a look. I see someone talking about dinosaurs, Adinath. Giant dinosaurs, Statue of Liberty. Interesting, again, the Statue of Liberty. I'm not sure if perhaps that's what you were already talking about. Liberty is, oh, who's the name of the, it's a statue of Apollo, that's it. The statue of Apollo is the same as Liberty. Libertus and Apollo certainly look alike, dress alike. Right, Sandy, 123 says the streets in Chernobyl were raised using sand and boron to soak up the radiation, yet worldwide we have raised streets. Okay, the streets in Chernobyl were raised using sand. Perhaps they have a... Yeah, I suppose sand, is that just mushed up stone? I know what you mean there. Wars in Europe were to destroy architecture. I completely agree with you, Isa Jones. I am just going to say Kev. I know it was that. Yeah, I totally agree. You think how far advanced, for example, the railway system is in Europe compared to Britain. Apparently, well, say Germany, for example, I don't think they have delayed trains. I could be wrong, but that was the message I always heard. No delayed trains in Europe. It's just unheard of. Of course, here in Britain, where we didn't have our public transport destroyed, I think we've got an antiquated system, you could call it. So sometimes, absolutely, I completely agree with you, Kev. Wars are there to just give people a reason to start, give the Masons a reason to rebuild the city. Right, large animals. I don't know if I guess you could be talking about talking dinosaurs, not something I'm huge on. You did look at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Maybe it's not leaning. Ground has moved, which makes it appear to be leaning. Very possibly. I've never been to Pisa. Sandy123, you've met Nick twice on your vacation. Lovely people. We did the hammer and feather. Apparently when they were building Philadelphia, they found streets 15 foot down and then the tiles on the floor. Oh. Mudlight double-decker trains, yeah, and apparently Japan. Now, how heavily would Japan actually just... Well, I'm sure they've had been involved in wars. I know they were in the Second World War, but... yeah, that was... Where was I going to go? Did I have much more to bring to you? It's getting late here in the UK. It is now the 31st of December. Do any of you have any plans for 2021? Anything? It's a interesting time to be asking people that. Of course, they've just supposedly changed the laws telling people where they can and cannot travel. What a ridiculous situation. Sandy123 meant Florence. No problem. Right. Yeah, I am going to have to start finishing up soon. I did have other things. Isa James, you're 50 tomorrow. Well, again, birthday is not something I'm massively into. So it's again another thing that's difficult for me to say because I guess you could almost say it's against my belief system to wish people. But no, 50, you've done well. You are 10 years older than I am. Isa James, you still feel 10. That's good to hear. Out of curiosity, what part of the country are you in, or whereabouts are you? Yeah, not that makes a huge difference. Just curious. Happy New Year, I'd enough. Absolutely. What an insult to people. I'm of the opinion now that the government seems to be saying, right, let's just see what can we do, how far can we push them, how much can we rip them off before someone says, excuse me, I'm not going to accept that anymore. For me, I've been given an opportunity to say that a couple of times, put the masks on. No, not something I can do. I do have a very valid exemption in that I do not live in fear. That is my exemption. And I recommend it to anyone. So I take part in I can't even bring myself to talk about it because it gets rammed down our throats. I'm gonna have to hit the cough button for 30 seconds in a minute. Either that or I wind down. I saw Toonlit, the World Health Organization, have changed history and redefined herd immunity. Thank you for sharing a link. It is in the chat if anyone wishes to check it out. Like they redefined pandemic, real-time changes. Defeat those elites and that was crap. Yeah, right, I will end out by giving my opinion on I've seen a couple of people made a video on, I can't even think of the person's name now, but someone collapsed after supposedly having their Fundivax. So, add enough, I'm really pleased to hear that you haven't won one yet. You have to make a lot of sacrifices in a lot of cases. People that won't come near you, people that don't want you near them. Listen, it's insane. Sometimes you've got to force the point, haven't we? You've got to say, well, if you... Yeah. But well done, add enough. I think that's... Yeah, well done to anyone that's made it this long. Let's hope we can keep going. I tell everyone my motivation for it every time I talk about it, that I really got to hit the cough button. I'll be back in 30 seconds, and then I'll start closing down. Less than 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Okay, yes, so the collapsing nurse from America who supposedly we all watched have a jab. Have you noticed with a lot of those clips you never actually see anyone having a jab? I even saw one where I think it wasn't Piers Morgan, but he was another one. I'll give you my opinion on what I think happening if you want it. It seems a lot of you that watch my videos seem to have a very similar opinion to me on a lot of things, which is great. So I probably don't even need to say it. What do you think about the news story about the woman collapsing? See if you share the same opinion with me. Has a random nurse unexpectedly become a news story? Not in my opinion. So, Kev, good night yourself. Happy 50th. You know, well done. You made it. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. Into 21. I'll be back with some more vids soon. Thanks for joining me, mate. Good night. I'll just have a look through the chat. I do like to call out everyone who commented, because I can't always say. Oh yeah, I was going to mention my motivation for not wearing a mask. Yeah, I'll say that. And then I'll call out everyone that's commented. You know, I have had a few. We can do the super. Yeah, Sandy, 123. You say you can do the supermarkets. Yeah, it's in. You think if enough people. Unfortunately, most people are in an absolute state of fear, and they will willingly put a mask on because it thinks it means they can go out. Somehow we've got to educate, we've got to get through to these people. You can't live life like that. That's no way to live in fear. Absolute. Yeah. Complete. My thoughts on it is: imagine if the people self-isolating, for example. Imagine they drag this out for another 3 or 4 years, or they find another reason next year why you shouldn't leave your house. And we've got 5 years left on Earth. I mean, who knows how long we got? Any of us could go out tomorrow and it'd be unfortunate. Any of us could still be in 20, 30 years. Who's to say, hey? So, yeah, but let's say you've got 5 left for whatever reason, and you spend 4 of them self-isolating. How well, you know, what a waste of life. Sandy, thanks Bobby, good soulmate. Yeah, thanks very much. Absolutely, to you too, Sandy. I mentioned Mudlight Digging Up the Thames was one of my early subscribers, and people commenting on live streams. So were you, Addy Nuff and Sandy123. People had to stay outside while I was in Greg's once because she doesn't have a mask on. The only place I was ever told could I wait outside was a chip shop, which I don't go into a huge amount. But once since they reopened, did I go in, and they seemed a bit weird about it. But obviously you have to go in and pay, so you have to go in and collect the chips. They've just got to face it. I'm not going to wear one. You can either turn me away and say we don't want your service. But with most businesses that actually have a physical shop now, they seem to be struggling. So not many businesses want to turn customers away. That's what I mean. If enough people said, nope, not doing it, I'm not just going to idly put up with it and put a mask on anymore. If they actually said, you know what, if someone wants me to wear one, they're going to have to come and tell me, and then I'll give them my reason for not putting it on. Mudlight, yeah. Most people realise that there is no. it would seem to me about 50-50, I would say. There's a lot. I think for many, it's just accepting that the news and everyone and everywhere they look could be so wrong, or that people could lie that much. I don't think people can accept it. Oh, encoding overload. Consider turning down video settings or using a faster encoding preset. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to check my stream. Apparently I've got an encoding error. Well, I hope it's still playable for you guys. Yep, just put my audio on and I can hear myself rabbiting on. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in from the start till the end. Yeah, I did have an idea for doing a video in the future to go with my new background. What was it? Open lines with Bobby Zines, where basically I give you my Skype details are just search Bobby Zines on Skype and you'll find me. Maybe opening up my show to anyone that wants to call in. I've seen some live streams where they have call-ins. They seem to get a mixed response. So, I mean, chances are no one would even want to ring me up. That'd be sad, but a lot of you do seem to have some really interesting stuff to share. Yeah, I certainly always pick up information from doing the live stream and reading your chat, stuff I wasn't aware of. It was brought up earlier on by RJ. I don't know if you're still with us, my friend, but thoughts on the Great Conjunction on the 21st. I'm not sure if you're referring to the 21st of December, where we saw the stars crossing over, or whether you're referring to something in the future. But yeah, I think we are I suppose every age is a new age, isn't it? But yeah, if ever you want to, that's what I mean, open lines, ring up, get your point across. I would be interested to do maybe a proof of concept video where I put out my details. So if that is anything anyone would consider listening to or taking part in a chat, by all means, yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in chipping in on such a thing. I see Kev is still there, winding up the chat with Kate is a trans too. Could not agree more, my friend. Absolutely. Susan Byrne, welcome to the chat. Mudlight, there is no baby. Kate's children are all transgender, so sad. Yeah. Kate's children, the only time I've seen much of them is when they did the clapping video and everyone else was clapping at 8 o'clock in the evening back in May, and it was pitch black, and they video the kids supposedly clapping for the NHS at 8 o'clock, and it's broad daylight, so it was clearly pre-filmed. They could be, I wouldn't be at all surprised with what you're saying. If we look at people such as Eugene and Beatrice, is it? Which is Vile Andrews' kids, I believe. Then yeah, absolutely, you could say they're not being presented quite accurately by the press. As in, yeah, they have the wrong genitals. There would be the truth about their genitals has been greatly misreported, you could say. With that, yeah, good night I'm going to say good night to everyone, and I always appreciate you tuning in and keeping me going, because without a live chat, I'm pretty much just talking to myself on these videos. And again, that's what I mean, open lines with Bobby Zines. If you want to ring up and get your opinion, across, it would be most appreciated. Let's see, sorry, just having a look, Okay, looks like a man. I agree. Mudlight, you listen to 5 minutes of Archwell audio. Now I need my sick bucket. Archwell. Okay. People have thoughts married. Yeah, read that one. Yeah, Mudlight, you said it. Right, I'm gonna call out. I'm gonna wish you all. I'm gonna say farewell to you all now. I think. I'm gonna go back through the live stream. Yeah, I'm getting tired. It's nearly 1 a.m. my time. I imagine most of you are probably on local time. Thanks everyone for tuning in, especially RJ, Mudlark digging up the Thames, Jersey Jones, which I think no, Issa Jones, real name Kev, Sandy123, Addy Nuff. I don't think I mentioned you already, have I? And then we had Toonlip commented. I'm sure he did. Yeah, TONLIT. Right. Susan Byrne, of course, popped in and said hello. Yeah, like I said, I really appreciate you keeping the chat going. So thanks especially to you all. Yeah, always love to hear your comments. And yeah, let's hope 2021 is. To be honest, I haven't listened too much about it. I'm not a huge. I can get by without going into the high street. I mean, yeah, of course, there's things you miss. There's bound to be. For some reason, Costa Coffee I missed, and I found myself using those. Well, I found myself using those vending machines constantly. Well, not constantly, but anytime I needed a coffee, I would always go to a Costa vending machine. Yeah, strange like that. Yeah, good night, Sandy123. I'm gonna end it now, and I'll be back soon with some more vids. Okay. Yeah, have a good 2021, and thanks as always. Take care, everyone.